Hey, what's up, everybody? So I got a lot of questions asking how to use training mode. How do I use training mode in Strive? What should I have my training mode set to? How do I test and record things? And I figured I would do a little video going over this. So first thing I would recommend is in your button settings, make sure you have a play and record button set. These are really useful, and know what your reset position button is. These are all things that you should have mapped, and if you don't have them mapped, definitely use them. The reset position button, every time you hit it, will, as it says, reset where you are on the screen. If you hold left, it'll reset you in this corner. Right is the opposite corner, and if you hit up, it will position switch. So now, Geo's on the right side here, and I can switch it back as well. This is really useful. Let's say you want to test the corner combo right here, or you want to go back to mid-screen. You're going to be hitting this button a lot, and it's on touchpad by default. If you don't have a button that can use this, you can also use the position reset setting in here as well. This is something that you can use to change where you reset every time you hit the button. So, on to some basic settings that you should just have set up. For opponent status, I recommend block settings, guard after first hit, and block switching enabled, just by default. The reason is that guard after first hit means that if you do something like this, it's a combo, Soul's not going to be able to block it. But if you do something that doesn't combo, Soul will block. And if you do something that is, he'll get hit by it. And the reason I recommend having the guard switch on is that if you do something that's, a low attack and you don't have this on, Soul will just get hit by it. Same thing with an overhead attack if he's crouching, right? So it makes it so that while standing, he'll block crouching attacks, and while crouching, he'll block overhead attacks, and vice versa. So that's on by default, and I recommend that. Some other things to know here is that there's a lot of really useful recording settings that you can do. So I mentioned the buttons by default. So if you hit the record button by default, it'll say recording standby, which is right above Soul's head, and then I'll have control of the character. If I hit the button again, it will record whatever I do, and then I can hit it to save it, save the slot 1, and when I hit the playback button, Soul will do what I did, which is really useful. Let's say you wanted to test what your best anti-air is against this move or something like that, right, and see what the options are available. It's really useful, something you're going to use a lot. There's also multiple slots here, so if you hit the button to record and then hit playback, you can cycle between slots. And let's say on this slot, you want to record a different jumping button, and then you set him to random. What will happen is if I replay it, he'll switch between the two jump buttons. So you saw there was jump slash, and the one before was jump H, the other one that I recorded, and he just switches between them. So if you want to test different options, this is really useful. So that is what the recording button is by itself. You can, again, also do that by going into the recording settings in here and setting things in here as well. So another important thing to keep in mind is that you can set stuff that is counterattack. So if, let's say, for instance, you get thrown every time you're doing some kind of pressure, you can go to your opponent's status here, maybe set them to all guards, so Soul will block whatever I do, no matter what it is, and he'll do a reversal throw after. So maybe you're struggling with making this hit my opponent, right? I want to leave a gap there, so if his throw comes out, he gets hit. Do a little delay there and see if that works, or try something like this and see if I can make it hit Soul when he's trying to throw there, or maybe not get thrown myself, right? That's something that you can test in here pretty easily. Speaking of counter hits, you can also turn on counter hit forced, and every attack you do will be counter hit. This is really useful to test if there's some counter hit specific combo that you're trying to do or something like that. But otherwise you can leave that on normal. Now, on this counterattack setting things, I set it to throw, but you can also set it to any of his attacks, right? So if there's a specific attack you want to set, or crouching attack, aerial attack, special move, like a super or something, or some movement option, you could do that. Same thing after recovery is when he's knocked down. So if I set him to do throw after recovery, he'll wake up with a throw. So if I want to practice beating that, I can, try beating that. Another thing to keep in mind that there's also an after throw break or after position reset. So after position reset, let's say I set him to do standing S. If I reset, he'll hit slash. And even more importantly, if you want to test like round start, you can go in here to where it says the position reset and then go to round call. Turn this on, and what'll happen is duel 1 every single time, and you can test, do I have an option that beats this? Do I have a move that will stuff it maybe on startup? And is something going to beat this specific move? Do I hit this and then I get stuffed, right? Like, what'll work against this? So this is something that is, I think, really useful to test, like, round start. Like, do I have an option to stop this, or do I not have an option to start this, or can I just hold back and get away from it? So that's something that you can turn on, test yourself. Really useful for different round start scenarios and stuff like that. And of course, you can turn these off by just hitting reset default or testing any of these things too. Another great one is like after throw break. A lot of people are like, what do I do if I try to throw Soul? He's set to throw clash enabled. I try to throw him, and there's a break, and he does slash after. Can I hit a button to stuff it? You know, what do I have that's an option here? Really useful. If I try to jump, do I get out? Right? If I try to backdash, do I escape it? You know, these are questions that you can ask yourself and test them mid-screen or in the corner, or when you have them cornered, maybe, for instance, something like that. These are useful things as well. So let's turn off the throw break, and we can reset this. And yeah, that's, you know, some of the basic things that I would recommend doing while you're in training mode. As you can see, there's a lot of other features that I haven't even covered or gone over yet that are really useful that you can do yourself. Like you can turn on burst, or you can turn on Roman cancel, or whatever you want to test against your opponent. There's a lot of really good settings in here. This training mode is really useful, and I think even with these just basic options, they'll take you super far in learning this kind of stuff. The only other thing I would recommend that if it does come up is you can change the characters in here by just going to this. So let's say, you know, something strikes you. You have a eureka moment, and while you're recording a video, you say, what would be a good move to teach people how to learn to stop? And you say, with May, I want to learn how to do, what's that dolphin move of hers? You go to your command list, you know, you look at May. You can look here. There's videos of all the moves, and you can see what they look like and see which one's the dolphin move. And then you can go to record, do the dolphin attack, set her to playback, and then test different things to see what will stuff the dolphin or what won't stuff the dolphin, or what your best option is, and how not to get slammed in the face by this thing, you know? Pretty useful to look through your options and see what's good, what's not good, you know, what gives you the best damage and kind of stuff like that. I think pretty useful. So hopefully this video has helped. Some of the basic training mode things that I use, and it should get you started looking through all the meters and looking through all the options, figuring stuff out. Hope it helps. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.